the host with the most, the bolder soldier, the friend of all vetrepreneurs, Nick Brophy.
Bad chick, I could be a fantasy. I could tell you got beat energy. It ain't too many of them that can handle me, but I might let you try it out.
Wow. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to DAV Patriots Pitch. Thank you. I'm Nick Brophy, retired Army veteran and director of DAV Patriot Boot Camp. So I'll be your host for tonight. Over the next hour, we'll hear from veterans who are looking to shake up industries, make lasting positive change in their communities. These entrepreneurs will compete to win $15,000 in no-obligation funds to propel their businesses and accelerate their growth. All of our competitors are alumni of DAV Patriot Boot Camp, a transformative program that empowers entrepreneurs in the veteran and military community with comprehensive startup education, world-class mentorship, access to funding, and a supportive community committed to their success. Patriots Pitch is an extension of that program and gives participants a chance to hone the skills they learned in boot camp while competing for cash. You can learn more about DAV Patriot Boot Camp and all of our programming at patriotbootcamp.org. All right, let's get into the rules for tonight's DAV's Patriots Pitch. Each contestant will get 2 minutes to make their pitch. The clock starts as soon as they start talking. If they're still talking when their time is up, we will have to bear the dreaded cowbell. Not so dreaded. After the 2 minutes are complete, our expert panelists will get a combined total of 4 minutes to ask clarifying questions to the entrepreneurs before we roll into the next contestant. Once every contestant has made their pitch, we'll open up the voting to you, and you get to decide tonight's winner. And now, let's meet tonight's panelists. Navy veteran Alenard Slicko has mentored a number of successful executives and helped companies build and maintain high-performance management teams throughout the years. His current role is the primary shareholder and CEO of Gigatech, a Marlin Technologies company. Additionally, he supports a portfolio of small entrepreneur businesses as a member of the board of directors and executive management consultant. He's also an author. His new book, War of Fear, Eye of the Nomad, about warriors in the era of Genghis Khan, will be released in November, and the proceeds will help charities including DAV who serve his fellow veterans. Next, Marilyn Jackson has spent over 2 decades in senior-level assignments, innovating and ushering Fortune 500 companies into the digital age. She's currently the CEO of Undergrid Technologies, a digital technology and engineering firm headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, and CEO of PMB Aerospace, headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada. She's a proud Air Force veteran and veteran spouse. Next, Jill Morenz has nearly 10 years of nonprofit experience and has been an entrepreneur for twice as long. Jill has created 2 businesses and leverages those insights as the president CEO of Aviatra Accelerators, working with female entrepreneurs on setting them up for business success. And last but not least, we have Greg Wims, a senior account executive for T-Mobile Business, supporting the Department of Veterans Affairs. Greg is a solutions-focused, multifaceted, and highly accomplished professional with more than a quarter century of experience in business development, and also is the founder of Systems Integration Startup. Tonight's event is generously sponsored. Oh, sorry, Greg. Yes, get a round of applause for Greg. Tonight's event is generously sponsored by T-Mobile, which we'll hear more about later. Thank you all for being here today and showing up for these amazing vetrepreneurs. So let's please give our amazing panel one more round of applause, everybody. Now, let's meet our first entrepreneur of the night, Jasmine Paul.
Jasmine Paul is an Air Force veteran who served 10 years as a nuclear missile officer and finance officer. She is the founder of Wealth Playground, a financial education startup teaching kids about money.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Paul, and I'm the founder of the Wealth Playground. When I was a senior in college, I had a 3.4 GPA studying communications and Arabic. My friends and family would say I was smart and successful, but I had a secret. I was living in my car and on friends' couches. It wasn't about my intelligence or ambition. It had everything to do with not managing my money well and not asking anyone for help. So I did everything I could, from learning in the library, studying for hours, talking to mentor and friends, and I finally figured it out. While I was holding the keys to nuclear weapons and managing multi-billion-dollar budgets in the Air Force, I started teaching my friends and my coworkers, and I was able to help over 110 people repay $350,000 in student loan and credit card debt. And then I thought, why not teach this to kids? That's why I created the Wealth Playground, an organization that champions the next generation of wealth builders. Through our children's book series, our learning experiences, and our curriculum development, we are impacting youth. We've been able to sell over 10,000 units of our children's book series and partnered with organizations like Harvard University's Read Labs, the Taco Bell Foundation, 2 school districts, and so much more. Today, we're seeking funding to create an immersive and learning experience and gamify our curriculum. With your help, you're not only supporting a veteran-owned business, you're impacting the next generation of wealth builders to live out their wildest dreams instead of living in their cars. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing stuff, Jasmine. Now, let's go to our judges for questions. Al, start with you.
Just like to know, from a revenue point of view, you said your unit-based sales is the way you're selling the product. Now, what budgets, are you going after community budgets, school budgets, what? Where's the money, and then how do you plan on marketing to that?
Absolutely. So as of right now, there's 28 states that are mandating financial literacy throughout the U.S. Hopefully there will be 50 before, I have children. But I'm targeting school districts as well as nonprofit organizations. There's several requirements that is requiring, because of those mandates, they're requiring financial literacy education. And so my goal is that the Wealth Playground will be the go-to resource for those budgets. Thank you.
Hi, Jasmine. So my
Hello.
question is about your growth trajectory. I hear and understand you're doing this for kids, but a lot of young adults need it as well. So do you have plans to address that for young adults?
Absolutely. So we first started with youth ages 5 to 9. We recently partnered with the Taco Bell Foundation to launch a digital series called Balancing Books and Bills, and we're actually doing programming for young adults between the ages of 18 to 26. And hopefully we will continue to work with 18 to 26, as well as launching with the middle school students, and then eventually in high school.
Can you share a little bit about your vision for the gamification piece that you're hoping to build?
Yes, absolutely. So kids and adults love to game, right? And so my goal is that we can take the elements of both budgeting, saving, investing, create an app that will generate, eventually become a subscription model for both consumers as well as for organizations. The goal is that they will be able to license the curriculum, and that way it will generate even more wealth builders throughout the world.
What are your greatest challenges in targeting and going after school districts?
Absolutely. I believe my greatest challenge is that I'm a one-person show. So I do have contractors that help out with our illustrations and our designs, but for me, it's just capacity. I'm a one-person show, and with additional funding, it will allow me to be able to not only grow the gamification, but as well as hire part-time help.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
So you mentioned additional funding, and obviously since your courseware is around budgeting, have you come up with a 1, 3, and 5-year budget for your marketing plan?
Yes, I have. So currently for the first year, we're looking to grow between 10 to 20% of our current marketing budget, and then hopefully with the licensing of the material, that will kind of compensate for the 3 and the 5 years.
Well, your delivery methods. Are they all face-to-face? Are you doing it online?
So we have remote experiences as well as in-person experiences. We just developed about 2 weeks ago an online course it's a mini course for young students between the ages of 5 to 9 that I developed with an educator and a curriculum developer. And so that is printable as well as online. So they can go through our portal that we're currently building and they can access the material.
Thank you.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Jasmine. Everybody, round of applause for Jasmine. Thank you, judges. All right. Next up, let's meet our second contestant, Art Salandong.
Arthur Salandong is a retired Navy veteran who served as a nuclear submarine officer and engineer. He is the founder and CEO of Trebus Technologies, providing solutions to challenges in wireless technologies and artificial intelligence.
As a native of Hawaii, I was sad to see how the fires in Maui had leveled the town of Lahaina. Over 100 lives were lost. It took over 5 days to restore power and communications. There was a breakdown in communication. I want to tell you about a technology that could have saved some of those lives. Greetings, everyone. My name is Art Salandong. I'm a former Navy submarine officer and a former Qualcomm executive. I'd like to introduce you to SEP, a wireless technology and a great business opportunity. SEP, spelled S-E-P-P, stands for Spectrally Efficient Peer-to-Peer. When I say peer-to-peer, I mean device-to-device, person-to-person, communicating without the need for any cell towers, satellites, or even a central server. SEP is a software solution we can put on cell phones, enabling voice, video, text messaging, file transfer, broadcast, multicast, as well as a relay capability. We've demonstrated video at over 1 kilometer, text messaging, voice, even greater ranges. The Hawaiian citizens could have used this technology to get in touch with loved ones. The market opportunity for this technology is tremendous. We've gotten LOIs from emergency management, but the use cases extended to defense, critical infrastructure, automobiles, and ultimately consumer electronics, with a total addressable market of over $500 billion. We have 3 patents approved, and our competitors lack the same features that we have. SEP is a software solution. It's got relay capability, more media-rich functionality, as well as spectral efficiency. I have a seasoned leadership team that have worked at Qualcomm an average of 19 years, and the team is poised to take this technology forward. Our prototype is currently being productized, and I am seeking funding to try to commercialize it immediately for immediate sales. I'll also use this funding to gain widespread adoption. I look forward to delivering SEP to give you communications when it matters the most. I thank you for this opportunity and welcome your questions.
Wow. All right, Art. Judges, questions from you. Greg, let's start with you.
Yeah, I guess my first question would be from a market point of view. Obviously, you've looked at the market and dissected what are the different channels you want to provide this technology to, and it certainly sounds like a very useful technology from your briefing for me earlier. Please explain how do you dissect that market, and then which specific portion of that market do you feel most important to focus on in ensuring that you can get permeation throughout all the markets?
Yeah, it's looking for low-hanging fruit. I mean, I just talked to emergency management personnel today in Florida, and they're trying to get ready for the hurricanes. DOD's got a need for this kind of capability in remote countries. I've also was a finalist for the Global Automotive Mobility Innovation Challenge. This peer-to-peer can help with automated driving as well. So there's a number of verticals, but emergency management is our first product market fit.
And you feel confident that that's a good market to first penetrate?
That's where we've gotten our LOIs.
Well, of course, Al stole my question, but so this is a really good vision. So have you looked to partner with any of the large communications companies?
Yeah, as a former Qualcommer, of course, I went back to my former employer, and they are interested in this kind of technology, but until they see a demand signal, they're not going to port it onto their chipset. Qualcomm's got 30% of the world's chipsets. MediaTek's got 40%. They're fat, dumb, and happy with market share. But as soon as it starts to grow, we start with emergency management, defense, getting into gaming and other kind of use cases, then yeah, they'll adopt it. I've even pitched it to Xiaomi and Oppo, 2 of the largest Chinese organizations. They will use it if it gets on a chipset, but I will not give it to China directly.
So you've written your exit strategy.
Yes, I mean a partnership with Qualcomm would be a good. That's my vision if I can get onto a chipset. But yeah, there's a long road ahead.
Okay.
So it's not something that people download onto their cell phones. It's something that has to be built into the phone itself?
Well, it's a software-only solution. So we actually need to code onto the FPGAs and the DSPs, which you can't do over the air. So we would need some cooperation with the chipset manufacturers, i.e. Qualcomm and MediaTek, to get it on there. But once it's on there, it's a matter of them activating it. They can use it, and then as they turn their cell phones on, as it finds other people with the software, it'll immediately hook up within seconds, and you can communicate peer-to-peer without infrastructure.
Yeah, my question was around emergency management, which you addressed. But curious, have you looked at the public safety vertical very much, and have you done anything in that side of the house?
Yeah, I've given this demonstration to the Department of Homeland Security, tried to get some FEMA personnel in there. And of course, the FirstNet, the first responders, has a big network and talked to AT&T. Told AT&T about the technology, and they said, hey, frankly, that's not on our roadmap right now. So we're a little bit ahead of the game. They didn't expect to have peer-to-peer video anytime soon, so they're happy with their walkie-talkies right now.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, I'd love to get it into a major carrier's first responder network, whether it's AT&T's FirstNet, Verizon's Frontline, or T-Mobile's ERT.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have you built a prototype?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it works.
Working prototype.
So, again, without getting onto a chipset, I actually had to build a module with a software-defined radio that will interface directly with a cell phone. So the module allows the transmission with other modules peer-to-peer, but you use your cell phone as a UI. So you can get voice, you can get video, you can get text messaging and file transfer all on your phone, but it's all being transmitted through this module that's about the size of a lunchbox.
Everybody, round of applause for Art Salindong. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, judges, again. Tough questions, tough questions. All right, let's meet our third contestant of the evening, Mr. Alan Parvis.
Great minds think alike.
Alan Parvis served 9 years in the Marine Corps as the Civil Affairs Team Lead before transitioning to a civilian career as an engineer. He is the founder of Go Faster, a high-performance, multi-terrain running shoe.
In 2009, my team and I landed in Helmand Province, Afghanistan, to take place in one of the largest Marine Corps offensives named Operation Strike of the Sword. As we waited for the operation, we prepared to be ready. Every day we PT'd and ran across the gravel roads of Camp Leatherneck. The gravel roads beating up my feet and the single pair of running shoes I had with me. But when the time came, we were ready. Fast forward, I'm an engineer and endurance athlete. When training for ultramarathons and triathlons, I'm brought back to those days on the gravel roads. Because as a runner, I faced a dilemma that many runners face when they run on mixed terrain. When going from pavement to trail, runners must choose between a less than durable road shoe or a less than comfortable trail shoe that doesn't perform on road. So, I created a propulsion plate that protects the foot from rocks, runs comfortable like a road shoe, and delivers the performance to go anywhere you're needed. The athletic shoe market is $20 billion. Specialty running is the major category, but the brands are a sea of the same. There's a gaping hole in the market primed for a brand to speak to the military and veteran community. So I thought back to my time at boot camp. When a pen was not a pen, it was an ink stick. A flashlight was not a flashlight, it was a moonbeam. And your running shoes? Well, they were Go Fasters. The competition's marketing, it's undifferentiated. It's all about competing for glory, the podium. Go Faster is for those who go where they're needed. We don't compete for glory, we train to be ready. Because we know that when everyone else is running out, we run in. Thank you.
Awesome. Judges, let's turn to Jill to start us off.
Okay. Are you already to market with your shoe?
So we just launched for pre-order 2 weeks ago. So we've been in new product development, prototyping, and making sure that the shoe was ready to go, and we just launched 2 weeks ago.
That's exciting.
And what about distribution? What's your plan? How do you see rolling this out as you
That's right.
move
So
forward?
we're starting with direct to consumer. So we're doing everything through our website right now. The reason for that is a couple. One, capital. So managing inventory, having capital to be able to get into retail stores. It's better for us to be able to go direct to the consumer. The other reason is targeting. So if we go into the big running stores, we're going to be one shoe on the wall of many. And we really want to make sure that we can position the shoe and the brand the way we want to. So that's the main reasons.
Okay, great, thank you.
Well, your shoes are going to get challenged because you're going up against Nike and a lot of the big names.
Yes.
Have you thought about how you're going to do that, and maybe how you might even be able to approach them and work with them to have an offshoot of their shoes that you're providing?
I haven't thought about the partnerships. That's a great idea. I'll take that one and put that in my back pocket. But from a brand perspective, we're differentiating there. Every brand right now is the same. It's all about that podium and the glory. So we really feel like we have a brand positioning that's very different. The other thing from a product perspective is everyone wants lightweight and they want high performance, and they're actually sacrificing durability. So that's a good opportunity for us to position the product as comfortable and durable, which is what everyone else is doing the opposite of right now.
So sell me your shoe. Tell me exactly what your unique proposition is.
So we have a plate in the bottom of the shoe, and it's positioned right between the outsole and the midsole. And so what that does is it gives the foot the complete midsole comfort, but it also protects the foot from those rocks and debris. So if you run on gravel, as I mentioned, you're getting those rocks really hitting the bottom of your foot, and if you do that a long time, it starts to bruise the bottom of the foot. So the plate positioning is very different. And the outsole is also more durable, so it gives you traction wherever you need it.
So as part of your strategy, consumer education when it comes to selecting shoes?
That'll be part of our marketing strategy. So when we put the advertising out there, we'll be making sure that everyone understands that this has the durability to go wherever they're needed. But I also, to prove that it had the comfort of the all-road shoe that I mentioned, I ran the Marine Corps 50K in it, which is an all-road running race, and I showed that it had the comfort to do that as well.
That was smart.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Looks like all the questions. Round of applause for Alan Parvis, everybody. All right. Moving on to our fourth contestant for tonight, Tymeka Smith. Let's meet her.
Tymeka Smith is a former U.S. Army Stryker mechanic. Following service, she transitioned to real estate before founding Poober, a taxi service for your pets.
Hi, my name is Tymeka Smith, founder of Poober, a veteran-owned local pet taxi service in Las Vegas, Nevada. Poober is a funny name, but it tells you exactly what we do. The P in Poober stands for pets. About 87 million households in the U.S. own pets, and they're geared to spend $526 million this year on pet services, an industry growing at 4.5% per year. The Uber in Poober stands for, well, Uber. Using our website and soon-developed app, it makes it easy for pet owners to book safe and reliable trips for essential pet care appointments, like groomers, daycare, hospital, airport, training. We pick up your pet in our specially modified bus and drop them off where they need to be, without you having to worry about missing work, getting your car dirty, or a loose pet in the back seat. By targeting the regular transportation needs of pet owners like grooming, monthly, daycare several times per week, and other services, Poober can generate consistent revenue streams. Leveraging these frequent trips with our competitive pricing and subscription packages positions us to attract a steady customer base, paving the way for profitable growth. Our experience operating in Las Vegas and feedback from surveys have shown strong demand for our pet taxi service, with customers stating the peace of mind and conveniency our pet taxi service delivers. We plan to partner with local pet businesses to offer exclusive incentives and discounts to their customer base. With the prize money, we will enhance our marketing efforts to reach more customers, complete the next phase of our app development to improve our technology for better booking, scheduling, and tracking. So, I told you about the P in Poober standing for pets, and the Uber in Poober standing for Uber. Well, what about the 3 R's at the end? That's right. That's the sound our furry friends make after getting an epic belly rub, or just finished a round trip with us. And there's nothing better than a great belly rub, except for a safe, reliable trip with Poober. We're Poober, like Pet Uber, soon to be America's best pet taxi.
All right. Judges, let's start with Marilyn.
Yeah, so very, very interesting. Tell me about your revenue share. Are you profitable at this point, or?
So 2022 was my most profitable year. In a couple of months, we did make $3,000, but due to health situations and the scam situations, I stopped last year. So this year, I have been building back my momentum with my business. Also, I've been putting myself in establishments like the DAV Patriot Boot Camp and other business startups in Las Vegas to be surrounded by people for that support and those resources to continue to keep going through.
Excellent. Jill?
Thanks. So, who do you think is your best customer right now? Do you appeal more to the individuals or more to like referral partners? Who do you think is your?
I would say my target would be busy working in essential personnel, along with establishments such as groomers and daycare facilities. I say busy people and essential personnel because they have to be at work. And most of those families, they have kids, and most of those families, they have pets as well. So to be able to step in and alleviate that stress, they would be our target. And to partner with local pet businesses to offer discounts to their customers and incentives to them that also allow us to piggyback off their clientele, building reputable service.
Have you started any of those partnerships with some of the local pet businesses?
So I did have a partnership that was going to be in play with an animal shelter, but due to them having a parvo breakout, a lot of things stopped. So I did stop from there. Where I'm at right now is word of mouth and getting back out there, passing out brochures, and trying to set up meetings with those business establishments to create some type of plan and partnership.
Okay. Are there any other competitors doing what you're doing that you know of right now?
As far as competitors, I would say local pet facilities, some of them do offer transportation, but it's only to their facility. Rideshare like Uber, they have a situation where people can bring pets, but it's been complaints on both ends. I drive as well for Uber and Lyft back in Vegas. So the complaints that a lot of drivers get is, of course, the dog hair and the smells that's left in their vehicle, so they would deny the rides. Then you, on the other hand, the customers not being able to get a ride because they have a pet, and there was so much back and forth that Uber put in play that if it's a emotional support animal or something like that, they cannot deny the ride.
Gotcha.
So that's how you know where it's needed, and then we step in and we're different because we have an actual doggy bus and we do transportation locally or anywhere for pets.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Have you thought of any cross-sells in relation to your business? Other things that you could sell, like maybe a dog wash or
Yes.
taking them to get vaccinated or whatever?
Yes, so it's a lot of things that I have in store. With the app development, we'll be able to market with other businesses, so that can be a way to make money. Also sell merchandise like pet clothing. We have membership packages, so certain things will come with that. Holistic dog treats for pets. I said apparel equipment that our drivers, when they sign up, that they will have access to. They can lease or they can purchase from us, or we would give them the resources to purchase what's needed.
So tell us how you handle the liability of moving pets around.
So the liability, of course, an accident that could occur. So how we have it set up, anyone that books a trip with us have to sign a release waiver. So that releases us from any responsibility. Of course, insurance coverages that would have to be in play. And the Rugland Kennels, which has been tested in the NASCAR, as far as when they test the NASCAR vehicles, they put the Rugland Kennel in there to see the impact, and it did not crash it. So that would be a requirement for every driver to have, also along with me to have.
Well, one last question, and do the animals have to wear seat belts?
Say that again?
Do they have to wear seat belts?
Yes.
Animals do?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, judges. Thank you for tough questions, and thank you, Tamika.
Thank you.
Before we welcome our next entrepreneur, I do want to take a few moments to thank the 2024-25 sponsor of DAV Patriots Pitch. T-Mobile is a proven supporter of veterans and their families. The work T-Mobile does supports DAV's mission to ensure those who served find fulfilling, meaningful careers when they take off the uniform. As shown by its generous support of DAV Patriot Boot Camp, T-Mobile is also a champion of veterans and spouses becoming entrepreneurs and job creators. Here to tell us more is Cole Stout. Cole is an external affairs manager at T-Mobile, where he leads the company's partnerships with military community and rural community groups on policy issues at the federal, state, and local levels. Cole and his husband, Adam, an active duty Marine, live in Washington, D.C. Please give us a warm welcome for Cole. Come on, Cole, to the stage.
Oh, thank you, Nick. T-Mobile is proud to support DAV in the incredible programs like the Patriot Boot Camp and tonight's pitch contest. I've been a T-Mobile customer since 2017 when Mom and Dad kicked me off the phone plan, but I just started at T-Mobile last year. But what I've always admired about T-Mobile is how they acknowledge the service of those who have and are currently serving. That acknowledgement has led to industry-leading commitments to veterans, military spouses, and active duty service members and their families. In 2018, we announced an ambitious goal of hiring 10,000 veterans and military spouses in less than 5 years. And we reached that goal last year ahead of schedule. Thank you. We know that transition from service to civilian life isn't easy, which is why we offer dedicated training opportunities for veterans and provide resources to our hiring managers and recruiters to translate service-related skills to the corporate world. And we offer flexible work locations for military spouses like me, which provides spouses the opportunity to work remotely when and if their spouse gets PCS orders. As the preferred wireless company for the VA, we are connecting community-based outpatient clinics with our 5G internet product and providing the tech that enables real-time healthcare via video. Through our partnerships with Blue Star Families, Hiring Our Heroes, One Tribe Foundation, Warriors and Quiet Waters, and so many other organizations, we are fully committed to our veterans. And of course, active duty service members, veterans, and their families receive 40% off on our Go5G plans. I'm really proud of our work to invest in entrepreneurs like the ones you're meeting today and supporting their businesses with the connectivity solutions they need to grow. This program is one of many that the company supports across the country, and we're grateful to the teams here at DAV that support this program year-round. So thank you all for what you do, what you have done for our country, for our veterans, and for their families.
Thanks again, Cole, and thanks again, T-Mobile, for making this event possible. Back to the show. Let's meet our next contestant, Simon Carmarker.
Simon Carmarker served in the Army as an interrogator linguist. He is the founder of RefundWiz, a technology-driven tax filing solution designed for underserved communities.
My father was the bravest person I know. In the 1970s, he brought our family to America to start a new life. But one thing terrified him: taxes. He didn't mind paying them, but filing them created a big knot of fear in his belly. Like most immigrants, he was afraid a simple mistake could lead to deportation. Fast forward to 2021, I served 4 years in the Army as a linguist, obtained my doctorate, and I was working as a senior tax preparer and manager at H&R Block. Every day we were turning away Spanish-speaking customers with no hablamos español. The look of fear in their eyes reminded me of the look of fear in my dad's eyes when I was a kid. That's why I built Mas Refund. I'm Dr. Simon Carmarker, founder of Mas Refund, a bilingual Spanish-English tax filing app. We take fear and complexity out of filing taxes so good people can file with confidence. We're disrupting the industry by making tax filing as easy as uno, sign up, dos, snap a picture of your W-2, and tres, hit submit. Most users take less than 5 minutes to file their return, and they don't even need to know complicated IRS lingo. Mas Refund is available in Google and Apple Play stores. This filing season, users grew by a whopping 692%, and we're on track for 5x growth for next year. Plenty of room to grow in this $14.8 billion market. Users pay as little as $24.99 each year to file with Mas Refund. We've been marketing via social media and hiring ambassadors to go into Spanish-speaking communities and host tax filing days with Mas Refund. Our impact has been featured on MSNBC and Fox Business. Thus far, we have raised $500,000. As our customer base grows, we'll offer other financial services to this underserved demographic group. DAV audience members, come join our mission. Vote for us. With Mas Refund, purpose meets profit, and tax filing is as easy as uno, dos, tres. Gracias.
Excellent. All right, judges. Al, let's start with you.
So from a value proposition point of view, most of us pay our taxes because we're afraid of the IRS coming to get us. But what you explained to me was that the culture that you're addressing, they're really afraid to file their taxes because they're afraid the government's going to come after them if they file their taxes. So it's sort of a different motivation, if you will. And how do you plan on addressing that?
Yeah, so what we have done is to overcome that objection is we're hiring locally in the community so that we can build trust. Through trust, we're going to have word of mouth. And that's going to be the biggest component to grow and scale this app as we expand from the 9 states originally where we launched to the other 41 states. Great question, thank you.
So a large portion of filing taxes is about education. Are you doing anything from an entrepreneur education perspective to assist with marketing and getting clients in the door?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How do you get your clients educated, not just filing taxes, because there's a lot more to it than just filing? Do you have any plans to do more consumer education for entrepreneurs?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So right after this tax season ended, I have started blogging and also a podcast that we translate into Spanish using AI, as our app is backed by AI. And we're increasing knowledge of wealth accumulation and getting an understanding of how our tax system works, how the credit system works, because there's so much misunderstanding around that.
Good question. What do you think is your biggest challenge right now before getting ready for the next tax year?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is building trust in the community. Generationally, they come from countries where the government is very volatile. There's a complete distrust, as what our research shows, against the legacy brands. One of them was bait and switch, hidden fees. Another one sold their data to Meta. And so for us, as we grow our app, as we build out this community, we want evangelists to talk about how easy it is to file using Mas Refund. It's very an elegant, simple solution.
And what have you done you said you're in 9 states right now?
We launched this thing in 2022 in 9 states.
Okay.
And then this tax season, we were across 50 states.
Okay. And what have you done you mentioned working with the community and other organizations within the community to educate and evangelize what you're doing?
Absolutely. So initially it was all about customer adoption. I felt that there was a need for this product, but does the consumer feel that there is a need for the product, right? And so once we have that, and now we're moving more into a B2B environment where we're partnering up with credit unions, because both of us have very aligned values of being a community impact-focused organization. And then hopefully we might even create a partnership with T-Mobile where the Mas Refund app is pre-downloaded for all new customers.
There you go.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
So again, the act of filing taxes is easy, it's the preparation. So as an entrepreneur, keeping receipts and keeping charges and all the things you have to do in order to prepare for your taxes, are you doing anything in that lane?
Yeah, that's part of our product roadmap, is to educate people on what they need. And in fact, when you go into the app, it actually tells them that before they even start the process, these are the documents you need. And make sure you're in a well-lit room and make sure you have a strong internet connection. So we kind of walk them through that right as they download the app. And it's available, and they can toggle back and forth between Spanish and English. And our research actually shows that Gen Zs and millennials use the app in English, and then they took it back to their grandmothers and aunts and uncles and said, download the app in Spanish, and we'll teach you how to use this app.
Awesome.
Great. That's great.
All right, Simon Carmarker, everybody, Mas Refund. Thanks, judges, thank you. Next up, let's meet our final contestant of the night, Mr. Jonathan Cunningham.
Jonathan Cunningham is a former logistics officer and combat engineer who was medically retired after being injured in combat. He is the founder of StumpWorks, an engineering company reimagining the prosthetic ecosystem.
I'm John Cunningham, founder of StumpWorks. We've created a revolutionary new prosthetic arm with a dynamic volume, breathable, soft socket. After losing my arm as a Marine in Iraq in 2005, I went on to be an engineer on the DARPA prosthetics project and its first test pilot. But that arm has never become commercially available, and I never wanted one. Why not? It turns out that half of arm amputees don't even wear a prosthetic arm, and 9 of the top 10 reasons they don't are related to fit and comfort, which comes down to the socket. Current prosthetic sockets are uncomfortable, painful, and even injury-inducing. Our customer's pain point is literally that socket, which is pretty much like wearing Dutch wooden shoes and rubber socks, and it reduces range of motion by almost half. $200 million in government research didn't solve any of those problems, but we have. Our patented textile socket, made with advanced athletic shoe materials, maintains wicking and breathability, and does a better job of solving those top 10 problems than ever before. 2 reel and lace systems adapt to the arm throughout the range of motion, bettering that range by 60%. We're further improving this arm and fitting 30 more patients at the VA in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we're looking for partnership with anyone who wants to disrupt the prosthetics industry and better fulfill our obligation to those who have borne the battle.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's pass it over to the judges. I'm going to start with Greg this time. Greg?
Yeah. Could you just tell us a little bit more about, how you got the partnership with the VA in Pennsylvania and how that came about, and what's your...
We partnered with Rory Cooper, who's probably well known to this crowd as a Paralympian and the head of the hurl at Pittsburgh. And he's the PI on the grant where we're going to work intensively with several patients to improve the design and then fit more over the next 4 years.
Okay, outstanding.
How many units do you currently have out there?
2.
Okay.
Well, like 5 of them on me and 1 on one other patient, and we're just starting the project with the VA. So.
Are you planning on rolling it out into just a select group of maybe 100 people, or?
We may roll in other patients beyond the 30 that we're doing with the VA during that same time period, because we'll be able to do that. But our real focus is on making sure that the design works for a whole range of patients. We were really happy with the second fitting. The VA didn't let him take it home, and he's been calling him every week, asking him when he can get it back.
So, on that note, I'm assuming it's a one-size-fits-all, or is there gender requirements for?
So we do a 3D scan of the arm, and everything is custom made for the individual patient. It has to be sized so that the thumb meets the end of the terminal device, and all of there's padding on the inside that interacts with the bones of the arm to keep it secure so it doesn't come off. So all that is custom. So so right now we're a one-size-fits-one operation.
And do you plan on expanding that for other areas of the body, such as your legs?
Absolutely. If we can do legs, that's 50 times the number of customers, and we have a pending patent that covers the leg version of this socket as well. And the socket problem that I talked about is ubiquitous. It cuts across every level of amputation. It's those customers all share that same pain.
You talk a little bit about the materials that you use. You mentioned like athletic shoe materials.
Yeah, so there's an example. Al's shoes right there are made with cut and sewn and glued materials. So the upper of the shoe will be all cut out and then glued, and then some sewing will be done, and then it's shaped into a shoe. And we use pretty much exactly the same process. We create a 2D pattern from the scan, and then we cut all the pieces and sew and glue them together and assemble it on a last that is the shape of the patient's arm.
And then manufacturing the plastic part?
All the plastic is 3D printed. This is a 3D printed nylon material, so it's the most durable. We tried almost every material on the market before we found one that could stand up to use straight off of the printer, and this is the most incredible stuff we found.
That's amazing. And so you can manufacture it domestically?
Can manufacture it domestically, and we actually use a service bureau that's right across the river in Portland, so I can upload a design and drive across the river and pick it up in the morning.
Wow. Great. That's amazing.
Is it functional? Does it also grip?
Yeah, I mean, this is a standard thing. This is not part of our design, but this is a body-powered hook, so I can open and close the hook, and I can pre-position the wrist. Has a locking function, so I could.
There you go.
Hey. Love it.
Nice.
Jonathan Cunningham, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
I like to see them.
I like the energy. And there you have it, folks. 6 amazing entrepreneurs representing 6 incredible ventures. Please give them another round of applause, our entrepreneurs. All right, so you've heard their pitches. Now it's time to hear from you in our audience. If you haven't done so already, please open up and log into your DAV Events mobile app. Your login information should have been emailed to you earlier this week after you've registered. From the main screen of that app, you can scroll over to the polls icon. Inside the polls icon, you click on that, and you're going to be asked to vote for which entrepreneur you think gave the best pitch. So you'll have the next 10 minutes to cast your vote. Go ahead and start now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's invite all of our amazing entrepreneurs back on stage. All right, and now it's time to reveal the winner of DAV Patriots Pitch. As a reminder, tonight's winner will receive $15,000 in no obligation funding. I'd like to welcome T-Mobile's Cole Stout back to the stage to present the check to our winner. All right, without further ado, the winner is Jonathan Cunningham, Stumpworks.
One of the greatest, ain't no debating on it. I'm still levitated, I'm heavily medicated. Ironic, I gave him love and they end up hating on me. She told me she loved me and she been waiting, been fighting hard for your love. And I'm running thin on my face. Needing someone to hug, even took it back to me.
Congratulations, Jonathan and Stumpworks. Thank you to all of our judges, our participants, and thanks again for T-Mobile for their generous support. And of course, thank you to everybody who attended and voted. So if you or someone you know is a veteran or spouse entrepreneur, or if someone you know could help a patriotic founder as a mentor, please send them to patriotbootcamp.org. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.